Hello, people. This is some more Talkin NFL playoffs, but in this case, it is the championship round. The AFC and NFC championship is this Sunday. I am recording this on Saturday, and it is time to make our picks. But first, we are going to go over the games from last week. And boy, oh boy, did a lot of things happen in this past week. So, start things off with the NFC. Eagles-Falcons. That game was Eagles 15, Falcons 10. I picked the Falcons to win that game because I thought that Matt Ryan and that offense was going to be able to go into Philly and pretty much pick apart that Eagles defense, and I didn't feel like Nick Foles was going to be able to be in a shootout with Matt Ryan and the Falcons. But boy, oh boy, did I underestimate that Eagles defense. I knew they were good all season long. I just felt like the Falcons offense was better. I felt they were clicking. Last week had me convinced that they were just going to start clicking and getting on a roll, but they did not. They only scored 10 points, and I've been on the Eagles train for a while. This was one of those games where my picks on who I thought was going to win did not represent who I wanted to win. I've been wanting the Eagles to go far all year long. I was on the Wentz train earlier in the season. When they did the electric slide, I was all in on the Eagles, and you guys know me, or if you do know me, or you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I don't like Philly. Philly is not my thing. I am from sort of near Philly. I'm from New Jersey, obviously. I live in South Jersey now. I'm pretty much from South Jersey, so I mean, I live around a lot of Eagles fans. I grew up with a lot of Eagles fans. I don't particularly like Philly. I don't like their sports teams, but the Eagles this year, they had me on that train, so I'm glad they won, but I did not pick them to win, and they made me eat my words. So, moving on to the other NFC game, Vikings and Saints. This game was the best game of the week by far. Holy hell, that ending. I was freaking out. After that Kamara touchdown, I was like, yeah, Saints back. They're going to win. And they did not. Marcus Williams, man. Good guy in my, good player in my Saints franchise. And he a good player all year long for that Saints team. But I mean, man, did he mess up on that play. He was so terrified of it. I'm not even sure if he was terrified of the PI, because, I mean, he went for the big hit, but, I mean, he went for the big hit after the catch. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what happened there, but not a good look for Marcus Williams. Very bad for the Saints. I'm going to miss seeing Kamara on my television. So, Vikings move on to the NFC Championship. AFC games, Jags and Steelers. Jags 45, Steelers 42, obviously. Bortles, what can I say? I completely doubted Bortles. I'm pretty sure literally everybody else did going into that game except for Jacksonville fans. And Bortles got it done. They move on to the AFC Championship. I picked the Steelers. I would have rather had the Jags win that game, and I'm glad the Jags won that game because the Steelers deserve to lose. How they were coached, how they played, they just don't deserve to win that game. Especially with all that shit they were talking, acting like the Jags are just nothing, and then they were just going to play the Steelers like they weren't already, like they didn't have to beat the Jags to get to the Patriots. Did I just say they were going to play the Steelers? I don't know, but you know what I mean. I'm glad they lost. Jags, Pats, because Pats, of course, beat the Titans. Nothing really to say about that other than that the Titans are bad. Mariota would be a great quarterback if he wasn't in a Malarkey system, so I'm glad that Malarkey is parting ways with the Titans. Hopefully they hire someone who isn't also a shitty coach, and they hire someone who can actually make Marcus Mariota be in a system that's actually good for him. So as far as this week's games, AFC game is Jags-Pats, as we all know. Once again, this is going to be a game where my picks do not reflect what I want to happen. If you follow me on Twitter, you will see that my Twitter name, not my handle, but my Twitter name is a lifelong Jags fan, and my Avi is the mascot holding his dick, doing some dance, I forget what it's called, doing some weird pose thing in a Speedo. Because lifelong Jags fan, follow me on Twitter. I tweet occasionally and retweet often. I know there's a bunch of things going around this game about how Brady's got an issue with his thumb, and like people are like trying to convince themselves that he's not going to play, or he's going to be bad when he plays, and if he doesn't play, Brian Hoyer's going to play, and then they're going to lose. Zero chance Brady doesn't play this game. Brady is definitely going to be the quarterback for this game. I don't think it's going to affect him. I feel like it's definitely not as big of an issue as people are trying to talk themselves into it being. And I feel like this game isn't going to be what people are expecting. I think like Pats fans are expecting it to be a just complete blowout. I think a lot of people are expecting that, but I think the Jags defense is going to keep that close, especially with some holes on the Patriots offensive line. I don't think they're going to be able to hold back that front seven, because that front seven is ridiculously scary. And I think their defense is going to be able to keep it pretty close, but ultimately, I think that Tom Brady is going to be the difference maker, and he's probably going to lead some, like, fourth quarter, minute-long drive at the end of the game to win it, maybe even walk it off, sort of like the Vikings did. But I do think the Patriots are going to win. I hope the Jags win, but I do think the Patriots are going to win. And as far as the NFC side goes, the Vikings and Eagles, of course. I think the Vikings are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game. These are two very good defenses going at each other, with two quarterbacks who nobody thought were going to be at this point, because they were pretty much both backups with the Rams at one point under Jeff Fisher. Case Keenum definitely, I would say, has the edge in the quarterback matchup. Once again, people keep underestimating him. I keep underestimating him. I think he's going to be decent. I think Nick Foles is going to be, I don't know, he's a wild card. He could be decent. He could be flat out awful. But I think it'll come down to how Foles plays. If Foles plays absolutely shitty, I think it's going to be the Vikings are going to win it. But no matter what, I do think it's going to be a low-scoring game. It wouldn't be surprised me if it was 15-10 again, like the Eagles' last game, something like that. But I do think the Vikes are going to inch it out, because I think their defense and their quarterback is better than the Eagles. So my picks for the Super Bowl matchup is the New England Patriots will be taking on the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota for the Super Bowl. And then, if that does happen, we will make my picks for the Super Bowl whenever that happens. And now that I've made my picks, that was Talkin' Football. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying goodbye and enjoy some pigskin.